Good afternoon. Just wanted to talk about the. Yesterday I did that short video on making a new little base for these flags that go on top of my desk. Here's the finished base. To say it's very, very basic. There are 2 coats of Minwax antique oil on there. And I applied one yesterday, right after I finished filming. And then this morning I buffed it off with some 4/0 steel wool and applied another coat and let it dry for a few hours. Then I brought it upstairs from the garage because I figured it'd probably dry better in here inside the house than it will out in the garage. It's actually kind of cold today and a little bit damp in there. So it's actually dried at a touch now. So, and I just buffed it off very lightly with basically a piece of cotton cloth. This is the desk I was talking about. It's hard to see, it's actually cluttered with stuff at the moment. But basically it's just a reproduction of a desk that I saw when I was at Mount Vernon, as I mentioned. And there's really nothing here to elaborate on. This is just a basic lap desk I made out of some really scrap oak. And one little thing, I'm pretty good with history, trivia, stuff like that, and people always ask me, how do you know so much? Well, in this drawer here, if we can move some of the stuff out of the way, in this drawer here you can see hundreds of these letters, and what they are, they are reproductions of actual historic letters, mainly with U.S. history. Could be from any era, from the colonial period all the way up through the 1980s, and they relate to certain times in history. And I signed up for the service, for my daughter, during the COVID lockdowns, to really give her something. We were all cooped up inside the house, just to give her something to do, and I ended up actually liking them more than she did. But here there's, this stuff is fairly, there's really, I don't want to open everything up too much, but it's just basically filled with a lot of little reproductions that I've either made or purchased at various historical sites and whatnot over the course of the past 5 or 6 years. We used to go to, before COVID especially, we used to go to a lot of different national parks, and Washington D.C. in particular, because it's not a really far drive from here. It's only about, on a good day you can get there in about 2.5 to 3 hours. So we used to go to Washington D.C. quite often, and not just D.C., around the entire region, and just stop at all of your national parks, your historical sites and whatnot. And that was one of our things, so to speak, until COVID came along and really changed the way we recreate. But yeah, this is it. It's, as I said, it's just really, the desk is fairly simple. It was the real cool part about it was really is that I really made it by hand. The only thing I didn't do, the only non-handwork here, was I prepped the boards for the legs and the top shelf. I did that with a surface planer that I borrowed, because they were when I say from the rough, these boards were literally taken off of it. They had bark on them and stuff, and I just did not really feel like prepping this much wood by hand. I just had no desire to do that. So I did do that with a machinery, but the top was all it's too the top is just over 24 inches wide. It's two boards, you know, edge glued together, and prepped all that by hand. Prepped the legs by hand. Can't really, you're not going to be able to see the legs. It's too dark in here. The lighting's not very good in this room either. I used to have lamps in here, but I don't use them anymore. This is more like, we use this room more like an office than anything else. But yeah, there it is. It's a pretty neat little project. I really enjoyed making it. It's one of my favorite projects I've ever made. And it's filled with a lot of my little projects here. A couple of knives I made from kits. Some boxes, some candle boxes here. This box here is a reproduction of a box of a library card catalog from the Library of Congress. Over here there's more things I've made. So, but yeah, that's it. I just wanted to show everybody that completed little flag stand. As I said, this is beyond basic, but I like, really, for if you're a beginner looking to use hand tools for the first time, these are the things I would suggest starting with. Very basic stuff. Then you could get into, you know, boxes like these here that have actual joinery. They've, you know, there's dovetail joinery. There's actually Mortise and tenons in that, and some regular basic rabbet joinery as well, dado and rabbet joinery. Same thing with these grooves, dovetails. There's some actually even a little bit of veneer work in this one here. So yeah, this is the stuff I really recommend starting with, then graduating up to a project like this desk. Or I'm not saying you need to make this desk, but a project on this level where you're going to have dados, rabbets, you're going to learn how to edge glue, prep boards, accurately make dados. These drawers are dovetailed. These are half blind dovetails. So little things like that, and you proceed and maybe get yourself to the really complicated furniture, which I'm not really even there yet. I can make some fairly complex pieces, but there's things that are way beyond me that I will never, I fully admit I'll never learn how to do. But I'm not really planning on it either. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope I inspired you a little bit. And so you have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.